வாழி பதனா ஏக வாழி பதனா ஏக
Hello and welcome to the second in our three-part series on the Shiva temples along the Akhanda Kaveri. Last week, we looked at the first of the triad, the Kadamba Vaneshwara temple at Kulithalai. Today, we are going to scale the peak of Ratnagiri or Ayyar Malai and 1018 steps in all. This is the second in that triad. Kalai Kadambar, Madiya Sokkar, Andi Venginadar. That is the formula by which these three temples are remembered. In the morning, you visit Kadamba Vaneshwara temple at Kulithalai. In the afternoon, you go up to Ratnagiri to see Ratnachaleshwara. And in the evening, you go to Tiruyingoi Malai to see Maragatachaleshwara. And those who see these three temples in one day are assured of mukti. It is no easy task, as I said in my last episode. The first temple is at ground level and so that's fine. But climbing Ratnagiri or Ayyar Malai is not easy. You have to be really fit in order to make the journey up. There are no mechanical contrivances like winches that can take you up there, even though there has been a plan that is hanging fire forever. And if you cannot climb up, the only option is to do it by doli, when four able-bodied men come with a rattan chair mounted on poles and they carry you up. It's quite an experience going up by doli as well, but nothing matches climbing up this peak. I hope you have done your limbering exercises and your muscles are all in the best condition possible so that we can start climbing soon. And remember, this temple has to be visited in the afternoon when the weather is not at its best. And you don't have much of an option because the temple is worshipped only once every day and that is in the afternoon. Today, fortunately, nowadays rather, a series of pavilions have been constructed along the ascent so that you can take rest, and they also shade the steps from the direct sunlight, and so these steps do not become baking hot. In the times of the great composers of the past, when they must have climbed up to this temple, it is only piety and faith that must have taken them all the way up to the top. If you have brought prasadam along with you to offer to the deity, perish the thought. No fruits, no flowers, nothing. Not because the temple doesn't allow you, but because the monkeys that line the way will ensure that you go up empty-handed and come down empty-handed. In some ways, it's highly symbolic of going to meet the Lord. What can you take and what can you offer to the Lord who has given you everything? Nothing really, except gratitude. And that's the only thing that you can manage with when you go up to the top of this temple and climb down again. So let's start our ascent to Ratnagiri. And so we begin our ascent to Thiruvatpoki or Ayyar Malai or Ratnagiri. As I said, you need to watch out for the monkeys that are very closely observing you to see what is it that you have brought. You, sir, in that corner, you better drop the bananas that you have brought with you. And you, madam, if you have got biscuits in that handbag, I suggest you take them out and hand them over to the monkeys. Otherwise, they will have a way of snatching away your bag itself. And now, having settled all that, let us begin climbing. I just forgot to mention one thing to you. This entire ascent has to be done barefoot. And so, if you have worn your walking shoes, you need to leave them behind at the base. The first thing that greets you is the Mukhamantapam, which is nothing but the place where all the Vahanas are kept, and which is where the processional icons are brought down from the hill and decorated each time there is a festival. Yes, the deities too have to make this descent and ascent. And every time the annual Brahmotsavam happens or any other festival happens, icons are brought all the way down manually from the top of the hill, decorated, placed on their vahanas, taken around in procession, and then taken back once again up the hill. While we are huffing and puffing on our way up, it is also a good time to reflect on what makes this shrine so great. Firstly, why is this place called Thiruvatpoki? The story goes that there was a king from the north, and therefore he is known as Arya Raja. The king had lost his crown, and he was told that if he came all the way down to Ratnagiri, he would be able to find precious stones for it. And so he came down, and when he came here, he was met by an aged Brahmin who told him that if he brought water up to the top of the hill and filled a cauldron which was used for the daily Abhishekam to the Lord, he would then be presented with the jewel. So the king went all the way to the river Kaveri, which is quite some distance from here, and brought water repeatedly up the hill, only to find that the cauldron was never filling up. Finally, he got so angry that he picked up his sword and hit the old man on the head. Blood began to come out, but the old man, it turned out, was Lord Shiva. He blessed the king and gave him the Ratna that he was looking for, which is why the place is known as Ratnagiri. And because the Lord held the king's sword, or rather he deflected the king's sword, it became Thiruvatpoki. As though in commemoration of this, the top of the Shivalingam still bears a scar. Now, as you're climbing up, you will find some supremely fit individuals are running up ahead of you. These are the locals. These are the people to whom going up to Ratnagiri is nothing at all. It's all in a day's work. And in order to make you feel even more inferior, you will find that there are some people who will be climbing up carrying pots of water on their head. They are the descendants of that Arya Raja. Their community still lives in this village, and on a daily basis they go down to the river Kaveri. Of course, these days that journey is done by motorbike or by bus, but bringing the water back from the Kaveri is always done on foot. So they walk this distance of 8 kilometers, or is it 8 miles, I forget which, and then they climb up the hill all the way to the top, where they pour the water into a huge vessel in which it is stored for the daily Abhishek. The other interesting feature that you observe when you walk closely with these people is that a pot has got the figurine of a crow carved on it. Now, why is that? The legend is that no crow ever flies over Thiruvatpoki. The story goes that once a devotee was bringing a pot full of milk for Abhishekam to the Lord over here, and a crow came and upset the pot and the milk was spilt. The crow was instantaneously burned to ashes, and ever since, no crow has ever crossed the hill. In reality, of course, the height of Ratnagiri is such that it is far higher than the normal flight path of crows, which is why no crow ever reaches the top. Now we climb a little further after having taken a break at one of the many mandapams on the way. Now, the other story that is very interesting over here is that Indra, it is believed, arrives on many nights and worships the Lord not with flowers and fruits, but with thunder and lightning, because he has got the Vajrayudha in his hand. Once again, there is a scientific explanation. The hilltop is bare rock and is often struck by lightning. And as we come up, we find that there is a huge split rock. And under the split rock are figurines of the Saptamatas, the seven mothers. If you remember the earlier episode where I spoke to you about Kadambar Kovil, I mentioned about the Rakshasa Dhumra Lochana and how the goddess got the seven mothers to go and kill him. The Rakshasa took shelter in the hermitage of sage Katyayana. And the seven mothers, when they went in, mistook the sage to be Dhumra Lochana and killed him. The sage was later resurrected and he at once cursed the seven mothers. They were then told that in expiation they would need to come to Kadambar Kovil and Ratnagiri and worship the Lord and attain salvation, which is what they did. And so their shrine is right here under this open rock. Another legend associated with this temple and with the one that follows, namely Tiruyingoimalai, is of a fight between Vayu, the wind god, and Adisesha as to who was superior. In order to demonstrate their prowess, they made the Meru mountain their spot. Adisesha held the Meru mountain within his body and Vayu tried to prize it out. In the process, 7 peaks were dislodged from the Meru and they fell all over the world. One of them was Ratnagiri and the other one was Maragatachala, which is Tiruyingoimalai. We have therefore a whole set of legends associated with this place. Another very interesting tradition with this particular temple is of the Panniri Chettimar, or the community of Chettiars who believe that 1/12 of their profit is to be donated to this shrine. They have built rest houses in the village, and these are classic examples of Chettinad art. This rock is also a lovely place to sit down and just contemplate on life. In the distance, you will see the river Kaveri. And you can imagine the way these people are bringing the water every day to the top of the hill. And then when you look down, you have a panoramic view of the entire village, the temple tank, and somehow this is a place where you are very much at peace with yourself. You are above all the mundane problems of life. And sometimes you sit back and think, was this where Appar sat when he came up this hill? Was this where Muthuswami Dikshitar sat with Veena in hand when he came up this hill? Quite likely. This is one of the Padal Petrasthalams, meaning that one of the Nayanmars has come over here and composed a Tevaram on it. Appar has composed 10 verses on this particular shrine. And you must remember, as you feel tired climbing up, that Appar was an old man when he came here, and yet he made this journey. And the verses that he composed on this particular shrine have only one theme, and that is, remember the Lord and pray to Him before your final moments come. When they come and when the servants of Yama come to take you away, it will be too late. Do not wait till that point of time. And chant the name of the Lord continuously even now. And so the first verse goes, Kala pasam pidittu எழுதூதுவர் பாலகர் விருத்தர் பழையரார் எனார் ஆல நீழல் அமர்ந்த வாட்போக்கியார் சீலமார்ந்தவர் செம்மையுள் நிற்பரே. When the servants of Yama come, they will not have any discretion as to whether a person is a child or is in the prime of youth or is very old. So keep thinking about that Lord of Vatpoki who sits under the banyan tree. And he will bless those whose mind is filled with bliss. In the 15th century, Arunagirinathar came here and composed Thirupugal on the Murugan idol. Sometime in the 17th century, it would appear that the Maratha king Shahaji too came and visited Thiruvatpoki. And among his many kritis is one on Ratnachala Nayaka. We also have Mahavidwan Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai composing a Kalambakam, which was a commissioned work on the history of this particular temple. And his disciple, Uve Swaminatha Iyer, records that this was the first Kalambakam that Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai ever composed. And in that, he gives several interesting facts about this particular temple. And one verse that Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai wrote and which Swaminatha Iyer has given us the meaning of is particularly fascinating. Tazhuvum umayan mun un tamizhirayar pinnum தொழுமிரையான் மேலும் சுவடு கெழுமுவகீழ் இன்றால் எனும் குறைப்போம் என் மனம் சேர் வாட்போக்கி அன்றால் அமர்ந்தாய் அடி. So it says, on your front you have the scar of Uma, which is basically an allusion to Kanchi, where when goddess Kamakshi prepared a mud linga and the Lord sent a flood in the river to take away the linga, she embraced it and left the impress of her breast on the Shivalinga. So on your front, you have got the scar of Uma. On your back, you've got the scar of the Pandyan king, because in Madurai, in the story where the Lord played pranks while trying to build an embankment on the river Vaigai, the Pandyan king got angry with him and hit him with a staff on his back. And so on your back, you've got the scar of the Pandyan king. On your head, you have got the scar of the Arya Raja at Thiruvatpoki. The only place where you don't have a scar are your feet. If you feel that there is something lacking because you don't have a scar on your feet, come and stand in my heart, which is rock hard, and that will ensure that you will get a scar or two. Because of the scar on his head, the Lord here is also known as Muditazhumbar, he who has a scar on his head. He is also known as Rajalingar, because the Raja came and worshipped over here. When you enter the sanctum, you find that this is a large Shivalinga. But before I take you there, I must tell you about the goddess Aralakesi, who is Shurumbar Kurali over here. She has a sanctum almost at the top of the hill, and she stands all by herself in her separate shrine, four-armed with a benign smile and always surrounded by monkeys. They are her close companions, and it is only after taking their permission that you will be able to go in. Then, having worshipped Shurumbar Kurali or Aralakesi, you then go up one more flight of steps, you take one turn around a set of corridors, then a small flight of steps, and then you are in the sanctum. If the linga at Kadambar Kovil faced the north, the linga here faces the west. And Abhishekam is done only once in the day in the afternoon. Next to the Shivalinga is a sanctum for Vairaperumal. Vairaperumal was a devotee from Kanchipuram who, it is said, prayed to the Lord that he would decapitate himself as an offering if he was blessed with a child. And once the baby was born, he came here and he cut his head off. The Lord was so moved by this sacrifice that he picked up the head and took it all the way to the top of the hill and kept it inside the sanctum. So Vairaperumal is also worshipped every day, and immediately after the worship is over for Ratnachaleshwara, the flowers are taken and brought to Vairaperumal. Now we offer our prayers over here, and having done that, we go all around this particular temple. In the 19th century, Muthuswami Dikshitar makes this ascent up the hill. You can imagine him coming here with his veena and his disciples in tow. Dikshitar is attracted to the shrine perhaps because the Lord here is Sri Chakra himself, embodied. Now why is the Lord, or how is the Lord here Sri Chakra? It is believed that there are 8 peaks that comprise this hill, and the 9th peak is the Shivalinga itself. And as we know, 9 triangles form the basis of the Sri Chakra. In Adi Shankara's Saundarya Lahari, in the 11th verse, he says, Chaturbihi Shri Kantaihi Shiva Yuvatibihi Panchabirapi Prabhinabhi Shambho Navabirapi Mula Prakritibihi. So he says there are 4 peaks that are of Shiva and 5 peaks that are of Shakti, and these form the 9 basic peaks that comprise the Sri Chakra. And therefore, the Lord here is the Sri Chakra. And Dikshitar says, Vidyatmaka Sri Chakrakara in his composition Pahimam Ratnachala Nayaka, dedicated to this particular shrine, which is set in the Raga Mukhari. There are other wonderful snippets about legends of this temple in the song. So the Anupallavi says, Mohaja Aradakeshi Varadhava. Her tresses are so fragrant that the bees are forever hovering around it. And so Mohaja Aradakeshi Varadhava, Mukti Prada Nada Virinchi Madhava. Just as in Tiruvannamalai, there is a legend here also that Brahma and Vishnu were arguing as to who was greater, and then Shiva manifested himself as the hill in order to demonstrate his superiority. And so Mukti Prada Nata Virinchi Madhava, worshipped by Virinchi and Madhava. And then in the Charanam, Dikshitar says, Sadhyo Jatadi Panchamukha Ari Shadvarga Rahita Hrid Sanchara. So what he really means here is he talks about the Lord's 5 faces beginning with Sadhyo Jata. Remember that in neighboring Kadambar Kovil, the Shivalinga is of 5 faces. And so perhaps Dikshitar is drawing a connection from there when he says that. And then he says the Lord resides in the hearts of people who are devoid of the 6 basic sins, which are Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Lobha and Matsarya. And so he brings in the Raga Mudra also very cleverly, because Sadhyo Jatadi Panchamukha Ari Shadvarga Rahita Hrid Sanchara. And then he says Vidyatmaka Sri Chakrakara Vichitra Navaratna Giri Vihara. So the 9 peaks become the 9 gems, and that is what he describes. Then finally in the last line, Dikshitar has seen those people climbing up, carrying the water up to the top of the hill. So he says, Adhyapyarya Vamsajata Turyajati Bhrita Akhanda Kaveri Nadyodaka Vishikta Sharira. So even now, Dikshitar is recording something that is happening in his time, and he uses the phrase even now, Adhyapi. Even now, there are people from the Arya Raja's community who are climbing up the hill, carrying the water for your daily Abhisheka. And when we walk, we see the same people. It's such a wonderful continuity of tradition. When we went on this heritage tour to these 3 temples on the Akhanda Kaveri, we had Vivek Sadasivam coming along with us, as I mentioned to you in the first episode, and he sang Pahimam Ratnachalanayaka at the temple itself. It was a very moving experience for all of us, and for this episode, I requested him to record it once again for us, and he has sent us this recording, which you will now be listening to.
Virinchi रोहिणी शरवि वामिनयन भवरोगहरण निपुणतर चरण शिव रोहिणी शरवि वामिनयन भवरोगहरण निपुणतर चरण शिव पाहि रत्नाचल नायक भक्त जन शुभ प्रदायक सद्योजातादि पंचमुखारी सद्योजातादि पंचमुखारी सद्योजातादि मुखरी षड्वर्गरहित कृत संचार षड्वर्गरहित कृत संचार विद्योदय वियदादि प्रपंच विकल्पातीत तत्त्वविचार विद्योदय वियदादि प्रपंच विकल्पातीत तत्त्वविचार विद्यात्मक श्रीचक्राकार विद्यात्मक श्रीचक्राकार विचित्र नवरत्नगिरि विहार विद्यात्मक श्रीचक्राकार विचित्र नवरत्नगिरि विहार गद्यानुविध पद्यादि विनोद गंगाधरागम गद्यानुविध पद्यादि विनोद गंगाधरागम अद्य प्यार्य वंशजात तूय जाति भृत खंड कावेरी ಖಂಡ ಕಾವೇರಿ ನದ್ಯೋದಕಾಭಿಷಿಕ್ತ ಶರೀರ ನಾರಿ ಗುರು ಗುಹ ಕುಮಾರ ಮಾರಹರ ಅದ್ಯ ಪ್ಯಾರ್ಯ ವಂಶಜಾತ ತೂರ್ಯ ಜಾತಿ ವೃತ ಖಂಡ ಕಾವೇರಿ ನದ್ಯೋದಕಾಭಿಷಿಕ್ತ ಶರೀರ ನಾರಿ ಗುರು ಗುಹ ಕುಮಾರ ಮಾರಹರ ಪಾಹಿ ಮಾರಯತ್ಮಾಚಲ ನಾಯಕ ಭಕ್ತ ಜನ ಶುಭ ಪ್ರದಾಯಕ
Are you tired having climbed up the hill, or are you exhilarated? I hope it is the latter, because after having climbed down those 1018 steps, followed by monkeys all the way, some of them battling like Vali and Sugriva, you then have to make your way down to Tiruyingoi Malai, where Maragata Chaleshwarar is waiting for you. And he is not on top of 1018 steps, but he is on the top of 500 and odd steps. The only advantage is that you have to visit him in the evening when the sun has gone down. But don't forget that right through the day, the steps up the hill have been baking in the heat, and in the evening they will begin radiating. So make sure that you are in the best of shape, you have had juices, you have rested well, and then we will begin our climb up Maragatachalam or Tiruyingoi Malai. See you until then.